Hey there, crew. Thanks for coming to hang out today as we set up our weekly bullet journal. This is our off week where we aren't doing our full plan with me inside of our task planner. We are only focusing on our weekly bullet journal setup this week. We're going to have a lot of fun today with some stamps. I just got a ginormous order from Cute Things from Japan. We're going to be playing and having fun with a bunch of my Eric Small Thing stamp collection. Got some new ones. These are some old ones inside of here. And on top of that, I'm so thrilled about this. I just got, for the very first time, Clickart. These are retractable marker pens from Zebra, which we're going to be using along with our stamps. I cannot wait to do this. I've been waiting such a long time to play around with these Clickart markers, and I'm just so excited. So let's go ahead and start just getting ourselves set up for this week. We'll do a quick overview of really where we are right now. There's no updates for us to do with our trackers. Last week we updated to 22.4 thousand on Instagram, which was really exciting. We are only setting up and kind of tracking our growth on YouTube once a month. So when we do that very first monthly setup, that's where we do this. But we are checking through and continuing to track how many videos I'm publishing each week. So far in this month, we've done one. Just the other day, we did the new Yes, that's the digital and analog sync pen that we went through. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure to give that a look. It's a really cool way that you can approach your own journaling and note-taking. And then today's video will be our second one of the month. So I'll go ahead and just mark this on here so we keep track. I'm working a little bit of a tight, confined space today because I'm currently filming a DSash video. We're going to be doing some giveaways in just a bit, actually for the Hive Keeps, which I love using, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. But I have all of this over to my left. I have Stella over here to my right. She's come to hang out with us today, so if you hear any jingling, it's her. So let's go ahead and figure out what we're doing for this week. This past week in our bullet journal was pretty decent. A lot of just really quick, rapid logging notes happening. I wasn't happy with the layout. If you watched last week's video, these lines aren't supposed to be here. They were just supposed to be open, and I was supposed to just do some rapid logging, and I did for the most part. I just wasn't in love with it, though. I mean, I definitely love the way the trees looked and using the pens and things like that, but you know, it is what it is. But a lot of tasks and notes happening here. I've been trying to mix both work and personal and social stuff together, so a lot of just video stuff that I had to get done. And this pen just didn't like the extra water I might have had on my hand or something, so it smeared that fountain pen ink. But that's okay. We're going to flip our page and come to a fresh new one. I've been really struggling, as I've talked about in these past weeks, about how I'm using my bullet journal and how it's being used versus how I used to, especially since introducing the task planner into how things are. All of my work tasks have really been staying inside of here, and I've been doing very well. It's not that I want to change it, but I do have to kind of rethink my bullet journals. What I really want to do this week is set up this left-hand side just to be that quick overview. That's what we'll be using our stamps and things like that. And then the rest of these pages, I just want to be for rapid logging. I just want those open notes, those daily loggings, things like that. So that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to have the most fun really with our stamps, and then really just set up the rest for what we're doing for the week. To do that for our supplies today, we're just going to be using a pencil to kind of line things up first. We have our eraser for that as well. We do need a ruler of some type. I always get asked, Mark, where do I get this ruler? Unfortunately, you can't. It was a part of an Art Journal subscription box, and they never put these out beyond that subscription box. But any type of ruler will do. I'll actually link some of my favorites down below, which I have to rebuy. I just saw that one of my rulers cracked the other day. Like, why am I keeping a cracked ruler? I can buy them. They're not very expensive. For our lines and everything else, we're going to be using the Clickart pens, as I mentioned. So just to show you what I've been doing, as I got these, I've been swatching all of these to start to get a little bit of an idea of like what colors are there. So I have 3 of the collection. So we have the light colors, which have some really nice light colors inside of them, even going down into some of the darker ones here. This is, you can see I was playing around a little bit with using these with the stamps, and this is kind of what we'll get a look of looking like today. We also have the dark set, so a lot of really cool colors inside of here too. And then we also have the standard set. The thing is that I've been noticing like the color that's inside the packet doesn't always match with what the color is on the website or other places online. Like that doesn't look black to me unless it's like a very light gray black. My wife and my kids helped me figure out the rest of the colors because all of the descriptions on the pens, they are not in English, and I don't believe that they actually say the colors. I was trying to use Google Translate to see what the pen says the other day, and it didn't say anything about colors, at least that I saw. Because we'll be coloring a lot of things in today, I'm just going to use the gray pen from the standard set. As you can see, I have basically been just lining up the pens inside of here along with this as my little go-to to make sure I know what color is what. If you didn't know, I'm color deficient. So I see colors, but some of them are just hard sometimes to tell apart. Not that like all of these are, but anyway. Okay, for this week, I actually am going to use my little cheat sheet. I still have to change this out because I made a mistake on the original print here, so I need to get this fixed. We're actually going to be using this over here though. We're just going to be creating 5 rows down our page on the left hand side. That's where we will put the stamps inside of. They almost fit perfectly inside of there. So what we'll be doing is we will need to have 1 space at the top, and then we'll need 7 squares going down the page. Or if you want, you can start at the bottom and count up 7 to get your 5 days during the week. For the size of the stamp and the amount of space that we have here, I'm going to go ahead and also just split my page in half. Now inside of the Bullet Journal Edition 2, which I'm using, it actually has a little bit of a guide here at the bottom that you can use. It's got 2 dots or 3 dots if you want to break your page into thirds. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and break my page into halves on both sides because that's what I'm going to be doing. All right, and with that, let's go ahead and use our Clickart pen. So these are really nice pens. They are Click. They do have this cool little post on it, so if you're using them on your table, if they start to roll, it's going to kind of stop itself. It doesn't need a full clip. It's almost like a little part of a clip, but it does stop it on the page and just hold your marker kind of in place so they don't roll all over the place. Now inside of here, there is a little kind of a tip that comes along with this. I don't know that you need to necessarily always put it back, but I'm going to do my best as I am using them to put it back just to save it. It's supposed to have great technology from a standpoint of like not drying out your pen or doing anything like that. All right, for this side, since we are using the marker, I'm actually going to grab a different ruler. This is one of my favorites. It has a little bit of a beveled edge here, which works out wonderfully if you ever have used myoliners or other things like that. Any type of pen that has ink, if you're using a ruler, can sometimes get caught underneath of the ruler as you're doing it, and then you pull your ruler away, and then it's smeared, and you're like, oh no, and you're kind of mad about it. Well, if you do it this way, because of that beveled edge here, there's no place for that ink to get trapped. And that way you can just pull your ruler down your page as you're going without any worry of it smearing. All right, the next thing we need to do is we need to select our stamps that we're going to be using for this week. So I have a few different options, and what I'll be doing is just a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday over here. So I just need 5 stamps. I think I want to use this one for just the daily login. So every day that I start a new day, I'll stamp this one down. So it says today, things to do. So it's a nice kind of little bit of like a header, and I can write the day or the date next to that for the overview. So this one I'm going to stick to the side for now. This is a self-inking stamp, so I can actually keep this with me. I don't have to worry about bringing ink pads or anything else with me as I use it. So it'll just kind of stay in my bag this week as I'm working. But I do want to use some of these. So I have this fun one, which is like a dress shirt and a pen, says nice day. Let's go ahead and do that on Wednesday, just because I'll be going to the office that day. Let's go ahead and start our week with enjoy the small things. That'll be for Monday. We'll do our stationery here for Tuesday. We have Wednesday, and we'll do enjoy music on Friday, because that's like New Music Friday. It's, you know, all the playlist comes out on Spotify and everything else. And let's actually go ahead and use this one. It's a lighthouse and a little stationery shop. For Thursday, Friday, we're good to go. I have my stamp Shammy down here. So a few weeks ago, I got this from Lawn Fawn. I'll put the link for you down in the descriptions below, but it's a stamp Shammy. And what you do is you wet this, and then you can easily just wipe off the ink off of your stamp and kind of clean it instantly. You don't have to use any type of like baby wipes or wet paper towel, which can sometimes leave, you know, kind of the paper towel fibers on it. So this is really cool. So I just have this off to the side, but just wanted to let you know that I'm using that. We're going to be using the Versafine Ink. This is just a beautiful black. This works really well for fine details, especially like what we're doing today. So we're going to go ahead and line our stamp over here, and then we just take our stamp and wipe it off on the stamp Shammy, and it's nice and clean. I love it so much. All right, now that we let this stamp ink just dry for a minute, we're going to go ahead and pick out the colors that we're going to be using today. I think for the most part, I'm probably just going to continue with the standard set. It kind of has a good mix of colors over here. If I need to pull out something specific for over here, I most certainly can. But we'll start with that, and then as we're going through, if I'm like, nah, I don't want to really use these colors for that, I can go into some of the other collections. So let's go ahead and have some fun coloring in our stamps. And the last thing we need to do here is we just need to write each of the days of the week and the date. All right, and the last thing we need to do is start off our week. So we'll use the today things to do. It's self-inking, so I don't need to bring an ink pad with me. And we are good to go. Things to do. My pen of the week is going to be this Anton design pen. So what's cool about it is that the pen itself is just the casing. The way that this pen works is that you can put any type of gel or ink pen cartridge that fits the size here inside of here, and then that pen instantly now becomes this pen. So very cool design. I actually don't know which one I put in here. It's been in here for a minute, but it is black ink. So let's go ahead and just write out Monday the 6th over here for us. Every other week, we're setting up our bullet journal, and then the weeks in between, we're doing our full plan with me's for the weeks. So make sure that you follow along next Sunday. We'll be setting up everything we need for week 3 and week 4 inside of our task planner and inside of our bullet journal. And then, as I mentioned, at the end of the month, we usually kind of do our big setup for the next month coming up and all of our tasks and setting things up too. So this has been really fun doing this. I was a little nervous, honestly, about switching things up both for myself and also for these videos, but I hope that you're enjoying them, and every other week having a little bit of a more creative feel to our bullet journal as we go into it, and then watching along. And of course, if you want to check out any of the previous Plan With Me's, I have them all in a playlist here for you that you can check out. Some great ideas, great chatting, thinking about setting up your bullet journal and your planners for work and even for home. I'll talk to you next time.